How to best clone a running system to a new hard disk using rsync? I have a system running as a server that has a failing hard drive. While all important data is on a RAID and backed up and all that, I don't have an image of the system itself. There is no specific need as I can do the install of course, but I still want to try to do a hot copy first before just going down the restore path. I know there are some downsides to this as a process, but I don't think there are much downsides to trying it as a first resort. OS, Ubuntu 12.04.4 LTS. Headless. I'm not hoping to install too much new software as the disk is already failing. Smile. The system is running. I'm scared stopping it increases the chance of the disk not coming back up. This means DD might be out. The new disk is not the same size, it's twice as big as the old one, further complicating the DD issue. My idea was to hot plug the new drive in the system, make a file system, mount it in /mnt/sumedu, sync the files, some stab magic, some booting magic. The questions I still have are: what would be a good rsync command? I was planning on I'm skipping some more dears, for example my mounted RAIDs etc. Where the options are I'm specifically skipping HVN progress to speed up the process. Would that work for Ubuntu? I'm not sure if Ubuntu uses any hard links, but I don't think I need the option, do I? After this run I could reboot, maybe with a live USB drive, and rerun the rsync if the old disk still starts. This would fix any non-readable / changed files because the system was running, I suppose. How to fix booting? Then my plan would be to change the UID for, in my stab, still have to Google how to find the UID, and do some magic so the system actually boots from the new disk. Have I forgotten something or have I planned something specifically stupid?
You can grab the UID for all block devices with the bookid command. You want the one that just says UID, not /2id. The rsync options I use are effects. I don't think V or progress will speed anything up unless you're on a very slow console/T. Using X eliminates the need for all of your exclusions assuming they are all on different file systems. On my system, all except lost plus found are. The only frequently used program that I know of that uses hard links, at least on my system, is Git, so that's why I add the H option. The only problem I think you would have by not using H is that it will take up a little more space. As for the bootloader, if you are using grub2 with MBR, then the command I use is grub install /dev/sda, replace SDA with the correct drive for you. That should make the new drive bootable. If you're using a different bootloader or UEFI, then I would check Google for how to get the new drive booting properly. Just remember that /boot on the new drive will need to be on the same partition as it currently is, assuming you're not using a UID for /boot also, otherwise you will need to modify stab accordingly.
I just did this successfully, after a couple tries. I used. Then I reset my /mnt/etc/stab file for the boot partition and my swap space. Then I needed to reset grub.
Do not attempt to fix booting with this drive, my recommendation. Plug in a drive on another machine instead of risking a hot swap on the failing machine. Or sync your non-system files across to the new disk. On a separate hard disk, create a boot, a minimal root, and a swap. Install the same operating system that you wish to clone from the ailing hard disk. Boot from this new disk, ideally on a separate machine, if you cannot risk downtime on the target host, otherwise you can boot the target host with this disk. Add the disk from step number 2 to this new system, with the correct mount points. Now you have a clone of the system drive. You can, optionally, copy the partitions over to this new disk, but my recommendation is to keep the disk as a minimum requirement for booting your OS. As you have realized, having too many things on the primary partition makes recovery difficult. Make sure you copy the network configuration correctly as your server is headless. Simply replace the drive on the ailing system with this new disk pair, if you choose not to boot the target initially in step number 4. Reboot.
I have spent many time on a CentOS Freaks distro rsync and have a bootable new disk, and finally after fixing stab and grub UID it don't work. The last step to make it work is, when you are in the grub CLI, i.e. at the grub and GT prompt, press enter and you can now shut down, remove old disk and boot with new one.